Alright guys, so this is the process that we went through to go testing our input of the controllers. So we've got him wired up, I've got him set up ready to be able to go through, so I've got everything, as you can see on the back, wired and then connected to my Arduino as well. So right now it's sitting in plugged and connected. But what I went to do next was I actually used Copilot, or any of the other AI's software will work as well. But basically I asked for Arduino code to test the inputs. I told it what I had, so I said a joystick and then the pins that I had it connected to. Sorry. I then told it what I wanted to check for in terms of the inputs. So I actually wrote this up on a Word document and then copied it into this. So I had it copied and I sort of adjusted and tweaked it as I go through. So this isn't exactly correct for how my wiring is, and you'll see once you start playing with it, you can work it out pretty quickly and do some tweaks to get it functioning effectively. But I've sort of worked out that because I've got my analog signals, that's kind of what I thought each of them are going to be. So that's what I'm going to check for. I then want to be able to get a serial print. So that's kind of the key piece that we want to see there, the serial print, and be able to actually use directions. So the one that I'm actually going to show you isn't exactly this. I asked to have the raw values for each of the inputs instead of this one. So this is almost a second step. Once you're confident, and I'll show you why, what each of these mean. So I'm going to show you the code that it gave me. So we went through, it gave me a little bit of a talking about what I did, and then it spit out the code down here. So then I went and copied it and then dropped it into my IDE. So you can see my IDE is up here, running as we speak. So you can see the code going through. So we can change, if I got the pins wrong, I can adjust those. If I needed to tweak anything about what I want to think here, I can adjust that. And I think that's the one I want. So let's actually show you. So that was the code that was actually running. So if we have a look, it's got the pins and it's just doing a straight read and then giving me the information. So this is a simpler piece, and we can see that as I go through, if I press button 1, you can see it adjusts. So you notice that the two buttons have a different input as I go through. So this one's are normally on, this one's are normally off. So you can see that my two buttons are functioning, but the way I need to call it to be able to check if they're pressed, you can see that they're opposite. So that's something to be aware of. If you've got the red and black buttons, they're slightly different. Speed on my potentiometer. So if I spin that, notice that it adjusts down. So there I can control my speed nicely. So that one works well. Then I'll come over here. So both of them are sort of sitting around that 500 mark, which you'd expect because it's right in the middle of the potentiometer for the X and Y, and knowing that analog value is 0 to 1023. So if I go this side, so if I want left, you can see I've got my descriptors wrong. So you can see it's telling my vertical is changing. So what I need to do back up here is I'm going to say my vertical is actually on A1 and my horizontal is on A2. I'm going to then reload this one up. So that's going through. There it is. So let's now check that again. So going across the horizontal, so left is going to be up to 1000, and then going down is to 0. Vertical, if I go up, so if I'm forward, it's going to be vertical 1022, and back is stop. So I can see that I've got, and I'd probably write down if I'm going to be then working out what my left and right values need to be, and then updating that my text document to be able to put the input and adjust it again. But it's a bit of a play, a bit of an explore. The thing that you want to make sure is you've got your Nano set up with the requirements as it needs as well. We've got another video that goes through those details, but that there is able to then test each of my inputs. I can record and I know what each of them needs to be.